Jeff Godfrey. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and sort of working on some paintings, also some music, sort of like interdisciplinary. Residency put me in touch with Vinny through email, and we kind of started emailing a little bit, and I realized, oh, maybe this is a place I can also work on music, because in my own life, I spend at least 3 days a week sort of taking hours and practicing music, so I want to kind of like continue that here. And I was sort of pleasantly surprised at how advanced everything was. Like, even though the studio maybe is not quite built yet, there's just so much other gear and things to play with and mess with. It was really nice. Death and rebirth kind of themes, things like skulls and flowers together, sort of strongly contrasting imagery. And I think it's been really good that the factory has this sort of reusability, reclaimed kind of materials vibe to it, which sort of plays into my death and rebirth kind of theme, so that's been sort of influential for me. I'm painting this creation. This is the middle piece of a triptych that I'm doing. Actually, the other two pieces are over there. So they all kind of have a running theme for them, sort of interlocking. It's always like a land and sea and air sort of thing. So there's elements of that, and also it's kind of a geological theme as well. These have some crystals. The ones over there, they kind of have some rocks. Candy. Got these kind of drying oils to help them dry a little quicker, so it'll be easier for me to take them back. These oils take forever to dry. So I've got some drying poppy oil for the light colors, and then drying linseed oil for the darker colors.
Huh.
And my palette's a total mess. My teachers would be really mad at me. So I used to be really organized, but now that I'm here, I'm all over the place. I have to work on the backgrounds once I get home, because I kind of put them on thick and I don't want them to crack or crumble when I transport them. So yeah, this is the first one I finished, and this is going to get a thicker background that'll make it all pop a little bit more. It's also kind of loosely stretched on there. A lot of my work before I came here had to do with death and rebirth themes, the skeleton, but then there's also the flowers coming out of his mouth, so it's kind of a rebirth. It's like, oh, this is what's left behind, and something beautiful is coming out of it. And I also thought that was cool. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to come here to the fish factory, because I knew that this was kind of a thing that had shut down and it kind of died in a way, and then you guys are doing something beautiful and new with it. So I found kind of like a parallel in that, in my work that I was already doing, and I wanted to continue that while I was here. All of these rocks were found within maybe 100 feet of the factory, and I was amazed at the variety that was available. And I also have kind of a fish that would be, maybe an Icelandic fish, or it's just fish factory kind of theme. And then this other painting, it's a puffin skull, and I kind of have the jellyfish, that's the sea. And here we have the mountain that's sort of always looming. When you're in Stöðvarfjörður, this is always kind of there. It's like a beacon or something, I don't know. More than the other mountains, I just feel like this one really, kind of imprinted itself on my mind. Like when I think of this residency, 50 years from now, the mountain's gonna be like one of the things that always remains. So I wanted to have that in one of my paintings. There are also kind of a lot of monster kind of things. I guess this is an alien, but then they have Dracula and tarantula candies, which I think the kids in the States are more scared of those. But kids here like to eat the monsters before the monsters eat them.
That's what we eat every day here.
Do you need audio, Una?
Come to my room.
Maybe we shouldn't go. Sounds good.
This is my cozy room. This is my pet duck. Desk is a total mess. Fan of this.
Oh yeah.
Really
it's
nice.
Do you sleep well here?
I do. Yeah.
Is it because of that gin bottle?
Yeah. A little swig before I go to bed every night. That's the medicine.
Yeah.
This is my girlfriend, right here.
Oh wow.
This is the only single woman over the age of 17, under the age of 70 in Stöðvarfjörður, so. Did I tell you about my crazy Airbnb experience where they called the cops on her? Wait, I did?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah.
But you can tell us about it.
Okay. Oh, you didn't hear
What is the
it?
news?
Oh, it was nuts. It was like I got here on a plane from London at maybe 10:30 p.m. and I contacted my Airbnb. I was like, oh, it's okay if I arrive this late. She's like, yeah, no problem. Like, this is where you go. Call me when you get there. I was like, all right. So I took a taxi from the airport to my Airbnb in Keflavik near the airport, and it was a crazy blizzard outside. I had a 40-pound suitcase, like 20 kilos, and just like dragging it through the snow, which was like a foot high, and then I had to like pick it up and carry it, like trying to find this Airbnb because it just wasn't where the map said it was gonna be. Like there was no building there. It was like number 8 on this street, and the taxi driver was like, yeah, it should be here. Like I put in the GPS, and we're looking at there's like nothing. It's like an empty lot. It's just like, what is going on? So wandering around for 45 minutes with this heavy suitcase, like blizzard like smacking me in the face. I'm like, ugh. My face is all red. My beard has like ice in it. And I finally find a hotel, and the lady this lady comes in the hotel. She apparently has been watching me. I guess she's the neighbor of the person who owns the Airbnb, and she was like, I seen you, I've been watching you. I know that you are trying to go to the Airbnb. This lady who owns it, she's crazy, she's under investigation. Like, we tried to call the cops on her before, and we are going to do it again right now. We've already called the cops, they're coming. I'm just like, oh man, shit. Like, okay, like what, should I not stay there? Like, I don't know. And they're like, if you can find it, if you can get in. So they like, I don't know, they took me there. It was really weird because they called the cops, and then the lady took me to the house, which was in a totally different position than the map had said it was going to be in. And I kind of knocked on the door, it was locked, and like I tried to call her, and she didn't answer. It was like, okay, and then like the cops came, and apparently the lady wasn't there, and it was this big kind of debacle, and I ended up hanging out with her neighbor till like 1 o'clock in the morning, and they like negotiated this deal with the hotel for me to stay there for a really cheap price, which was really nice. It was a really nice hotel. And then they finally got that lady who owned the Airbnb on the phone, and she was kind of like, oh, I've got it open for you now. It's open, it's unlocked, you can get in. And it was 2 hours after I initially got there. I was like, well, I'm probably gonna just stay in this hotel because I'm already over here and it's like warm. And I was like, I'm not really comfortable with the situation. You kind of screwed me over. And she like started crying on the phone. And she was like, oh. And then she hung up on me. Like, she cried for like 5 seconds, and I was like, hello? And then she just hung up on me. And that was that.